Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's happening? What's good, everybody? I hope y'all having a great Labor Day out there. I hope all of y'all are off work and relaxing and enjoying yourselves. I really wanted to touch on Caleb Sweet Hands Plant getting ready for his upcoming fight versus Canelo Alvarez, undisputed at 168 pounds, the first undisputed fight ever at super middleweight. And I want to talk about Caleb Plant bringing in Andre Ward. You know, Andre Ward, a Hall of Famer, one of the most talented and skilled fighters that you ever see. Hadn't lost a fight since he was like 15 years old, 14, 15, a gold medalist in the Olympics, you know, won the Super Six, retired undefeated, beat Kovalev twice when Kovalev was the boogeyman. You know, Andre Ward was a fantastic fighter, incredibly skilled. You know, Triple G didn't want no smoke with him. Canelo didn't want no smoke with him. You know what I'm saying? This guy really had a lot of fighters, you know, afraid to get in the ring with him because he would make guys look bad with his skills, and he was always tough and very crafty, and he was a nightmare for a lot of fighters. And I really like this move by Caleb Plant bringing in Andre Ward just to kind of get a few pointers, get some of that game, and just that adds to his pedigree. I saw Virgil Hunter was in there, which is Andre Ward's longtime trainer, and having those two guys in your camp, it could only bring positive things and benefits to you. You know, Andre Ward can't get in there and fight for Caleb Plant, but you would be a fool to think that this does not help some. Now, will this give him the edge in the fight? That's yet to be seen. At the end of the day, Caleb Plant still got to go out there and put a game plan together, execute the game plan, and go out there and fight his ass off in order to beat Canelo Alvarez. It's going to be a tough task for him, but I definitely think this is a good move when you look at a guy like Andre Ward. There are similarities when you consider the fact that Andre Ward was considered a master boxer, had excellent defense. He mastered the art of hitting and not getting hit. But one thing that Andre Ward showed a lot, which a lot of people don't give him credit for, is his craftiness and his dog mentality, his willingness to get in the trenches and go to the body, fight on the inside and make it real scrappy, doing the dirty work. Andre Ward was really good at doing the dirty work, and I think those are some of the things that Andre Ward can teach Caleb Plant, or at least some of the advice or tutelage or knowledge or techniques that he can lend to Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant is a very, very skilled boxer, very good at fighting from the outside, a really good jab, great hand speed. I love his ability to throw combinations. Caleb Plant is one of those guys who he can box, but he's not afraid to fight. He's not afraid to mix it up. And when he throws combinations, it's beautiful. I mean, when you watch him fight, you see where you get the name Sweet Hands, because you know, he really throws beautiful combinations, and he's a very polished fighter. He didn't look that great versus Caleb Truax in his last fight, but of course you got to look at the fact that it was a pandemic fight. He was off for some time. A lot of guys coming back during the pandemic, they didn't look very sharp. You know, and that's one thing that you got to always tip your hat to Canelo Alvarez for, because he stays active. And, you know, guys who stay active and always in the gym and then always having fights, you keep your skills sharpened, and, you know, you keep that ring rust up off of you. And I think that does give you an advantage, especially in big fights, meaningful fights, you know. But he didn't look that great. He won every round. I didn't give Caleb Truax one round in that fight, but I thought Caleb Plant got hit a little bit too much. I thought he gassed in certain points in the fight. He looked a little tired. You know what I'm saying? But again, that could be due to the layoff. It could be due to the pandemic restrictions and not being able to train the same way, or having to train in a bubble. I mean, it's a whole lot of different factors that go into the whole pandemic. It's a mental aspect to it as well. You know, so I expect Caleb Plant to be a lot sharper in this fight versus Canelo Alvarez. In this camp, I expect him to just have a different type of intensity and energy. Of course, going into an undisputed fight with it being your biggest payday, you going up against one of the hottest fighters, one of the biggest names in the sport of boxing, and it's undisputed. So you gotta expect Caleb Plant to get up for this fight and be emotionally and mentally in tune, and the intensity is gonna be high. You just expect Caleb Plant to be on another level in all aspects of his game, getting ready for this fight. And I think bringing in Andre Ward is going to help him do that, because Andre Ward is a serious guy. He knows his boxing. When you listen to him talk about boxing, you know what I mean, the brother know his shit. You know, he can break this shit down every which way. You know what I'm saying? And I could just imagine the conversations that those guys are having in camp. You know, and like I said, Andre Ward is a very serious guy. So I know when he takes his time out to do something, you know, he's lending his time to Caleb Plant. I'm pretty sure Caleb Plant is he ain't gonna waste that. You know what I'm saying? He gonna take it serious and, you know, really soak up all the game that Andre Ward got for him. But, you know, like I said, both guys, there are some similarities, which I think will help because they can relate when you talk about having great defense. Caleb Plant has really, really good head movement. I expect him to be sharper in this fight and not get hit as much. I mean, it's Canelo Alvarez now, so we don't know what his defense is going to look like versus a guy who is as skilled as Canelo Alvarez. But, you know, I expect him to be a lot sharper. And with Andre Ward in the camp with him, you know, of course, I know they're going to work on defense and things like that. But what I believe Andre Ward can help Caleb Plant with the most is being able to swim without getting wet. You know what I'm saying? Being able to get in the trenches, get on the inside, go to the body, mix it up a little bit, because with Canelo, it's going to be very difficult to win a decision. I mean, if you go back to the Floyd Mayweather fight with Canelo Alvarez, I had Floyd winning every round, but somehow one of the judges scored it for Canelo. They scored it a draw. They scored it for Canelo. It was like a majority decision for Floyd when he literally won every round. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Canelo has gotten favorable decisions on the cards multiple times. You know what I'm saying? So, if I'm Caleb Plant, I'm not taking the approach that Erislandy Lara took. I had Erislandy Lara winning that fight, but I could also see why they gave it to Canelo, because Lara had great defense. He used the jab, but I mean, his offense was damn near non-existent. You know, you can't win no fight bagging back all damn day and not throwing no punches. So I think what Andre Ward can help Caleb Plant with is showing that aggressive side, showing the ring dominance and ring generalship, not getting reckless and going in there and leaving yourself open and trying to get in a slug match with Canelo. Now, that's not what you do. Canelo is a great counterpuncher. You know what I'm saying? So you never want to be in a slug match with a guy who's very skilled with timing, hand speed, and power. And, you know, and he got really, really good head movement. You know what I'm saying? So he can make you miss and make you pay. You never want to just go in there and slug with a guy like that. But Caleb Plant, who's also a great counterpuncher, who also has great head movement, who also has really, really, really good hand speed. You know what I'm saying? And he got respectable power. So he has the skills and the tools to play that chess match with Canelo, but he's just going to have to do it the right way. And I think Andre Ward can help him with that, knowing when to box from the outside. He's going to have the height and the reach advantage. You know what I'm saying? Now, Caleb Plant might have the hand speed advantage. Canelo got decent hand speed, but I think Caleb Plant might have the hand speed advantage in this fight. So, you know, being able to use the jab, fight from the outside, knowing when to be on the outside, but then also knowing when to, you know, bring it close, mix it up, rough Canelo up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Get on the inside, tie him up, go to the body, make it look like you in control. You know what I'm saying? Andre Ward was a master at that, knowing when to change levels and switch the distances up. You know what I'm saying? And make a fighter uncomfortable. Put motherfuckers in positions that they don't want to be in. That's what I think Andre Ward can help Caleb Plant with the most. Now, can he go out there and execute that and put that shit in play and do it under the lights on the biggest stage that he ever been on in his life? That's yet to be seen. But I definitely think that this is a quality move, and there's a lot to be gained for bringing a guy like Andre Ward into your camp, especially for a fight of this magnitude. And again, Andre Ward he has a similar style. You know what I'm saying? So, he's gonna be able to give Caleb Plant a lot of game on this. You know what I'm saying? A lot of game. So I'm excited to see how Caleb Plant takes that knowledge and incorporate that into his game and his strategy for Canelo Alvarez. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. How do y'all feel about Caleb Plant bringing in Andre Ward? Do you think this helps him? Do you think, it ain't going to do shit for him? I mean, like I said, Andre Ward can't go in there and fight for this, man. He going to have to get in there and throw them hands and make shit happen. But y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.